Hey, what's going on, everybody? So in this section, we are going to talk all about how to use LinkedIn hashtags. So as you are going to learn how to create your content, you're going to have to use hashtags. And hashtags are a way for you to get your content more discovered by people who may be interested in checking out your content, all right? Let's go ahead and give you the high-level overview of how you can use hashtags, and I'll show you on LinkedIn, on the platform of how you can find them and how you can use them. So essentially, LinkedIn hashtags are a way for you to make your content more discoverable, right? Like if you do hashtag, let's say SaaS sales or hashtag sales prospecting, anybody who's searching for that or follow those hashtags may potentially find you. LinkedIn users, follow specific hashtags, like I just said, and LinkedIn hashtags associates your content with other content that have the same hashtags. So, if you use hashtags to categorize your content and say like, okay, this content is about software sales. And so what's going to happen is, LinkedIn has an algorithm that, recommends different content. And so if they know that, okay, this content is about software sales, let's put it in front of other people who also like software sales, right? So it's a way for an algorithm to help your content be more discovered by people who may not have discovered it if you didn't use those hashtags. And the whole goal of using LinkedIn hashtag is to get more attention to your content, right? You just want more people to see it, more exposure. The more exposure you get, the more opportunities you have to generate leads. Now, let's go ahead and give you an example, right? So on the LinkedIn platform, one of the videos I posted recently was a short video, 3 minutes. And essentially what I did was, it's a 3-minute video. I wrote some text to kind of explain what the video is about to get people interested. And so far, we got 39 people that liked it, 5 comments, 1,000 people saw it, and I used these hashtags. So I used the hashtag sales prospecting, lead generation, and business development because I understand that people are searching for these searching for these hashtags on LinkedIn. And if I put them in, LinkedIn is going to associate this piece of content with other pieces of content similar to it. And so anyone who is interested in, for example, in lead generation might stumble across my content even though they have never heard of me before. How I like to do it is I usually use around 3 to 5 different hashtags. And usually I don't like to go too crazy. I put the hashtags within the text, right? Within the text of the little description for a video. Or if you're doing, let's say, just a text post with a picture, you would also put it there. I personally like to just put it at the bottom where it's just not noticeable. You could also integrate them within the text itself. So it could be like one of the biggest mistakes I see people make in sales. It could be hashtag sales on the top, right? And you can incorporate a hashtag within the text. But for me, I like to keep it simple and just write the text and then just put the hashtags at the end. That's personally my preference, right? And yeah, so because of this, if I didn't use any hashtags, maybe less people would have seen this piece of content because I didn't use the hashtags, right? If I didn't use a hashtag. So maybe people who followed this lead generation hashtag just stumbled upon my video and they watched it and that gave me extra views. More views you get equals more views you get, more engagement, more views, right? So obviously the more people that see it, the more people will see it essentially. And so some common mistakes that you should avoid when it comes to using LinkedIn hashtag is you do not want to add spaces within a hashtag because I will separate the words. For example, if you're going to use business development, put the business development as one word, not as 2, because if you do it like this, LinkedIn will only count the hashtag as business, not business development. Don't use punctuation marks like these kind of things because that's not what people are searching and it doesn't really work on LinkedIn. And using any combination of capital or lowercase is okay. So if it's like, capital B in the business development and capital D, that's fine. It's the same thing as business development without any capitalizations. And so just make sure you avoid, especially these punctuation marks, and you should be good to go. Let me go ahead and talk about how following hashtags works on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn users, right, can follow specific hashtags, which you can use to get more exposure to your content, right? So the more hashtags you use that are relevant, the more people that see your content. You can also follow hashtags yourself on your personal account to get more content ideas, okay? So let's go ahead and go on LinkedIn. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so we are on my LinkedIn profile right now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about hashtags, okay? So, if you go onto, let's say like my profile and you look at some of the content that I've been putting out, you notice that, especially as of late, if you go into, let's see, all activity and then post. So it's like I'm always using hashtags because I want my stuff to be discovered, right? I just posted this, hashtags over here, put a poll here, hashtag. So they're usually, maybe like 5 to 10 hashtags that I just consistently use because I know that my target market likes that. Like this one, for example, sales, cold calling, sales prospecting, business development, right? You don't have to make it so complicated. You just want to make sure that people actually search this. So what you can do is you can go into the hashtags, and let's say we type in sales, hashtag sales, right? So what's going to happen is it's going to go into hashtag sales. You see that 5.8 million people are following, and I could follow it right here. And now I'm following the hashtag sales, right? So essentially, because so many people are following this hashtag, when you post content and you use this hashtag, there are potentially 5.8 million people that might see your content. And that's exposure for this specific hashtag. And, if you can see, these are some of the hashtags that I searched up recently. So SaaS sales, SaaS, business development, sales development. And I know people are, following this because you could just go there. Okay, SaaS sales, not that many people, right? So there's only 99 people. So it's not the biggest hashtag to use because there's not enough, people looking for this. But let's say SaaS, 20,000 people. That's quite a bit. Business development, 43,000 people. That's quite a lot, actually. Let's see, sales development, 22K. So whatever it is that, you're selling and what your niche is, just understand how many people are actually following this hashtag, and you kind of get an idea of how big that hashtag is. And I guess the golden ideal situation is if you create content that's super good and relevant for a hashtag, let's say like sales development, and then there are a lot of followers, but very little competition when it comes to people using that hashtag. That's the perfect storm because you got a lot of people who are looking for content like that, but you got very few people who are making it. And that's how you really capture the bulk of the pie when it comes to getting more traffic to your content by using hashtags, right? So let's say for like the hashtag cold calling, let's see how popular this is. And again, to do that, all you got to do is type in the hashtag and just type in the word, and it'll show you the hashtag search. So like cold calling, there's maybe 10,000 people using this hashtag, right? And I'm just scrolling through. It's like, the content's not really that good. Not many people are engaging. So I understand that if I create a lot of cold calling content on LinkedIn, then I'm probably going to be getting a lot of exposure to these 10,000 people who are interested in cold calling, right? And, it's because if you make quality content and there's a lot of people searching for it, 10,000 is not a lot, but it's decent. And there's very few competition. Like there's no one making like cold calling content that really is that great from my initial scroll through, right? Then that means LinkedIn is going to promote you because there's more engagement. And it's an algorithm, right? So you're kind of doing what it takes to get the LinkedIn algorithm to promote your content. And you also have to understand that algorithm's always changing. It's getting more advanced, right? So if it's similar to like a YouTube algorithm or Instagram algorithm, which it's getting closer to, if you're going to put like hashtag cold calling, they also understand that your content is related to cold call. Okay. Just 300 followers. So, not really a useful hashtag, but you got to get the idea, right? So when you put in one hashtag, LinkedIn is going to tag your content and be like, okay, this content is similar to other hashtags. And so people who are following those other hashtags that are similar to this other one, let's go ahead and just show it to that person, right? So someone who is interested in, let's say, lead generation. So 15K. They might get, let's say, a video about cold calling from me because lead generation is very similar to cold calling, right? So it's the algorithm basically just recommending content. So that's why you want to make, 3 to 5 relevant hashtags, and then you just kind of see how far the LinkedIn algorithm can push you. And of course, algorithms always change. The inner workings of, exactly how it works is always unclear because there's not like a place you can go to get all the hashtag secrets directly from LinkedIn. It's just people speculating and testing things out. So the main thing as a regular user of LinkedIn who wants to get more content, just use hashtags that are relevant to your specific thing that you are selling and your specific content that you're making, and just make sure that there's enough people who are following the hashtag to make it worth your while, right? If you're doing a hashtag that has like, let's say if it's, like telephone selling. Okay, let's try this. So telephone selling, no one is using this hashtag. So do not use this hashtag because no one's following it, right? You want to go for stuff like lead generation, or if you're doing like, let's say SEO, you're like an SEO agency or something, right? SEO strategy, just 800 people, so not that many. But if it's like SEO tips, let's try that. You got 20,000 people, right? So you basically just got to keep searching for different hashtags that fit what you are doing. more people following, the better. Less competition, the better. And if you can find that golden ratio of high volume of people searching and low volume of competition, that's where you're really going to get the most exposure. And so with that said, that is pretty much the fundamentals of how you will use hashtag. And I'm going to see you guys in the next lesson.